And welcome back everyone to Night Sim Development, and this is actually the second video of my 2025 FPS tutorial series. In the last video we actually ended up with this simple view model, and in this video we're going to a simple switch system between your first and secondary weapon. I'm also going to go over how to make this simple pistol view model if that's what you decide to use, because this tutorial is compatible with any secondary weapon you want, whether it's a shotgun, a submachine gun, a pistol, a sniper, doesn't really matter. It's a very simple tutorial where I provide you with all of the code. It's all just copy and paste. You don't actually have to type anything. And then this is a step-by-step guided tutorial, so it's pretty hard to mess up. And if you do, just comment down below and I'll be happy to help you out. And this tutorial was heavily inspired by Xeradev, so go ahead and subscribe to his channel as well. He does a lot of cool Roblox tutorials. And basically, yeah, let's get into the video. And we're gonna go ahead and start off by making a second view model for our secondary weapon. And in theory, you could make anything as a secondary: a sniper, a shotgun, a submachine gun, but for this tutorial I'm going to do a pistol since that's the most common secondary weapon there is. And if you did want to make a secondary, for example an AK or a sniper, you would just follow the view model making process from the first video, since they're all basically rifle shaped, so it should be quite familiar and similar to you. But I will be using this Glock 19 right here just because I think it looks cool and it has a little like red dot sight on it and the flashlight, so I'll just use that. I'm going to quickly use obviously the comprehensive gun kit from the last video to open it up, go to weapons, go to sidearms, and then Glock 19. There you go. Take that, duplicate it, take the duplicated copy and put it into the workspace, and this will just separate it from the original gun kit, allowing us to use it separately, right? Drag it to the side, and now we're going to quickly add the arms since, well, that's what the view model is. So go ahead, go to toolbox, search view model, take the arms and then put them in. And these are actually the same ones from the last tutorial, so it's pretty similar, but I wanted to go over it again just so you guys get it right. Quickly open up the view model, delete the humanoid, select all of the components of the view model, and then make sure cast shadow is off, can collide is off, and then anchored is off, right? But very important, go to humanoid root part and then turn the anchored on. Make sure the anchored is on for the humanoid root part, but not for anything else. Perfect, right? Now go to camera bone, right? And rename it. This is very important. If you don't do this, it will not work. Rename camera bone into fake camera. Fake camera. Make sure it's spelled exactly like it is here, or it will be incompatible with the code, right? Go ahead in fake camera, scroll up or down to wherever transparency is for you. Right here, set the transparency to 1. This will make the box invisible, which is basically the head of our player. Since you're going to be using your own character, you don't need colors in that, right? Now we're going to quickly take the gun, put it on top of our right arm. Go ahead, click rotate in the models tab, and then I like to lock it at 90. This allows me to just set it perfectly straight in like 2 turns. And then I like to put my guns slightly off center, kind of right here. Oh, not that. Kind of like that, right? The reason I'm doing this is because when you connect the arms together for a double-handed hold, you want the gun to be kind of centered, and then if you put it exactly in the center, it will look kind of weird. Plus, this is how your hand looks. Your thumb is not as big as the other 4 fingers together, right? Now you're going to quickly take your gun right here, right? Open it up, and then rename every single part of this gun. And then I will do it and I'll be right back. Okay, now that I have renamed every single component, I will quickly go over them. And you don't have to have perfectly the same names for everything, but I do want you to be able to tell these things apart. So for that reason, I actually would recommend naming everything the same way I did, but I will just go through them, right? So we're starting off with barrel, pins, weight, mag, base, mag slot, light, spring, trigger, flashlight, slide, internals, muzzle brake, support, mag release. So those are the components of our Glock 19, right? Now, what I want you to do is take the Glock 19 itself, and then you want to now finally place it where it will sit for when you play. So obviously, once again, you can look up some pictures to reference of how people hold this, but I think this is pretty good. Right about there, slightly off center, maybe a little more here. Okay. And actually, I would highly recommend, very important, to actually scale it up, make it bigger. It might seem weird that we didn't do it with the rifle, but with the pistol we will. That is because you don't want your pistol to be way too small. So you do want it to be visible, even if it's bigger than it should be. CSGO does this and Warzone does this. They scale their guns to look kind of similar in size, even if like it's a rifle or a pistol. Sounds weird, but that's what I do as well. So I think that's scaled pretty well. Maybe just a little bit more. I think that's fine. And obviously you can use a quick reference. You can just bring it to the rifle itself. And as you can see, it is slightly bigger than like the base of the rifle. So the pistol is almost as wide as the rail, but that's basically what we want. Okay, so I think that's what we're going to need. Now, we're going to take the pistol itself, right? Take the pistol. Also, wait. Right before we do this, this is just for future. Take your view model before you combine them. Duplicate it. Take the copied one. Drag it right there next to your view models, just so you don't have to import and fix them every time. Okay, make sure you don't mix this up. This view model, take the pistol and put it in there. This will just combine them as one object, allowing you to move them together, right? Copy the name of the pistol itself. So Control C, copy the name of the pistol, close it, right click ungroup. This will break it into parts. Now, instead of the view model, you're going to paste in that name from your pistol. So your view model's name now is the gun's name. Click enter. This just basically combined the components of your gun with your view model, connecting them into, well, just one view model. Now we're going to quickly add one more component that I actually forgot to add. Go ahead, go to part, take this part, and then set transparency to 1. It will just become transparent. You're gonna go find where the size is, right here. Go 0.1 by 0.1 by 0.1. Click enter. Now you have this tiny little box, and if you watch the last tutorial, this is just what holds the whole gun together. So take this and put it somewhere in the base where the gun wouldn't usually separate from the arm or move. I like to put it kind of in the middle here, and then kind of lower into the hand, right there. And then you're gonna take this part, you're gonna name it main, and you're gonna take the main, and then you're going to drag it into your view model as well, right? Now you're going to just quickly rig the whole thing together. And actually, before we rig it, let's connect our left arm. So very important, take left arm. I like to slightly rotate it. Make sure your constraint is off, like that. Wait, actually no, first we're gonna do it this way. And then we're gonna, but not too much since this is a pistol, like that. And then you're just setting it how you want it to be set. You don't have to have it as perfect as me or like different from me. It doesn't really matter that much. And it doesn't really matter if your arms connect like this either. It's perfectly fine. The only thing I would recommend doing is, you see how the head now is like way off to the side? Go to your fake camera, go to plugins, and I will also link this down below, camera locker. This will just allow you to look what your gun looks like. And as you can see, that is like very far away and it's like off to the side. So what you're gonna do is click escape, exit the camera locker, go to your view model, select everything except the fake camera and the humanoid root part. So barrel, shift, trigger, and then hold control and deselect fake camera or humanoid root part. And then you're going to just move it. Let's say, I think that should be fine. And then once again, I'll just check by using camera locker. That's a lot better, but I still want it to be a little bit closer. So do the same process again. And then this is just mostly for aesthetics. You do want your game to look better, so okay, that has to be good. You can obviously work more on this if you want, but I think that's just fine for the tutorial. So I might edit this off camera, but I do like how this is turning out. Now that we have like the whole view model basically completed out of all of these parts, it's not rigged yet, but the parts are there. We're going to once again go to the very top, select everything, turn off cast shadow, turn off can collide. And this is very, very important. If you don't do this, when you play, your character won't be able to move, or it will just collide with it, it'll shake, it'll just fly away. And people comment about this all the time, and it's actually pissing me off because I talk about this in the video. Make sure can collide, cast shadow, and anchored are off for everything except, very important, humanoid root part. Make sure the anchored is on. This holds your gun to your player. So everything has can collide, cast shadow, and anchored off, and then just the humanoid root part has anchored on. Now we can finally rig the view model, and we're going to be using our favorite plugin, which is free, Rig Edit Lite. Once again, link down below. I mean, if you're watching this video and you did the previous tutorial part 1, you definitely have it already. So select the view model, Rig Edit Lite, quickly do this thing, open up your view model, go to humanoid root part, select these 3 joints or connections, whatever, reset joints. Make sure you click this reset joints. This will put all of your original character positions back from all of that movement that we did. Now we're going to rig the rest of the parts. You're going to start off by, make sure you follow this exact order. Humanoid root part, hold control on your keyboard, main, create a joint, not weld, joint. Create a joint there, close the humanoid root part. Now, make sure you start with main. The order of the rest of the stuff doesn't really matter. Make sure you just start with main. Once again, hold control. And we're going to do welds first. And these are going to be the parts that will not move individually. So that's everything except like the slide and the mag. So trigger, support, spring, not the slide, muzzle brake, mag slot, mag release, not magazine, light. So you're basically selecting everything, and we're just selecting a gun. Don't select the arms, the fake camera, or the humanoid root parts. So just select the gun parts that will not move. And obviously you can just copy what I have selected here and click welds, not joints, welds. These are parts that will not move. Now we're going to do joints. Click start off with main, hold control on your keyboard, and now just select the slide and the mag, and these are the ones you will click create joints, because those are the parts that will be animated individually. Welded parts cannot be animated individually. Now we basically finished our view model. It is fully rigged and complete, so we can go ahead and exit out of Rig Edit Lite and then just kind of place it next to our gun. And now that this is actually complete, we're going to quickly test if this actually works. And I'm basically doing this just to make sure that you guys completed all the steps properly and your view model will show when we do the code. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to replicated storage, right? You're going to open up the modules first. You see this Troy Defense settings? You did this in the last tutorial. Duplicate it. Copy the name of your new view model. So copy the name and then just set the name of the settings to your second view model. So basically what you're just doing is you're creating a second settings for your second view model. Now we're going to take the new created view model, take it and drag it into the view models folder, take the rifle and put it back into workspace. So basically just replaced it. And then in the actual code, we'll quickly swap the name for our pistol. So what you will see, you'll have an AR or whatever the gun you made, and then just paste in the name of your second view model that you just made for the first line here and play. And basically what you should see is your pistol or whatever it is secondary you made pop up and just work as a view model. So basically if this happens and there's no errors down here in the output, which you can find if you go to view and here you click output, there's no errors, that means you did everything right. Now we're just going to quickly obviously put the gun that you created back, and then we'll just put the rifle that we took out earlier back for the view model. So we'll just undo the step, and then I'll put the first gun that we made. Just return to the original code here. So now we're going to do a little bit of code. Also make sure we did add the settings for your second gun. That's good, just leave it there, that's perfect. And lucky for you guys, I will actually provide all of the code, so you don't actually have to type anything out. It's going to be a simple copy and paste. So if you go into the description below this video, you will see two options. I would recommend clicking the one with the Discord code link, just because it will paste without any spaces and it's way easier to understand. There's also a Google Doc link, which looks something like, kind of like this. It will work as well, but it's not as good. So do it at your own cost or mind, whatever. If you have Discord, just do this. I will link it down below, right? So go to your game, open up Framework Client. This is where we left off in the last video. So if you open this up, and I think this was actually in the starter player scripts, yep. So if you open this up and then you go to this code and you expand it, you see these little numbers at the very end of these little lines. This is actually the exact line you're supposed to post this, and you're gonna start at the top and you're gonna go down. So start at the very first one. Make sure you do this exactly how I do it. Copy that, go to the game, and then that's at 18. So go to line 17, click enter, and paste it in. And as you can see, 18 matches 18. And you can delete these markers later. Once again, go back, copy this part now. Make sure you're doing it exactly how I do it. Copy, go back. What was it? It was 24. So go to line 23, click enter, paste. Once again, go back. And there's only 3 pastes you have to do. Line 50, right? Copy, go back, click enter. Well, it's actually 51, but not a big a deal. Paste it in. So I was off by 1, I guess, but whatever. 51, and it does end at 80. Okay, so now you're going to go back to your game, take your gun that you made earlier, go to replicated storage, and put it into the view models. Now, very important, make sure you do this. Copy the name, go back to your code right here. If you scroll up, you see your inventory, right? And as you can see, there's a simple system that's 1 selects item 1, 2 is 2, 3 is 4, and so on. Your first option is your first view model. That stays as it was. Now, instead of the pistol, paste the name of whatever it is secondary you made. Now go back to your game and just play it. And as you can see, when you spawn in, you will see the original view model. But if you click 2 on your keyboard, it will switch to your secondary. And then 1 is first, and as you can see, I can obviously switch between them by clicking 1 or 2. 1 being the first guns, 2 being the secondary. And as you can see, there's no errors in my error box. This means you completed the tutorial perfectly. And as you can see, you have a simple system that just switches your view models around. In the next tutorial, we're going to be adding a simple aim function And I think in the tutorial after that, we will actually add the shooting system, or at least the shooting animation. So congrats on completing the second video of this tutorial. I post every single week on Fridays. So if you enjoyed this, please drop a like, subscribe, and then if you have any problems or concerns, go ahead and comment down below or in my Discord server. And see you in the next one.